Hello everyone, this is going to be my first YouTube video review. I'm going to be doing video reviews of products and tech and stuff like that, and I'll be running them in tandem with a WordPress review blog site. So I'm going to put the link down in the description to my written review of this product, and I'll be doing the same with all the other ones that I review in the future. I'm going to structure this as first impressions and general observations. Then I'm going to go through the positives of the product, in this case this jacket. Then I'm going to go through the negatives, things that I think could be improved on or aren't exactly ideal for me. Then I'm going to talk a bit about the lifestyle kind of implications of the product, or the kind of general uses. And then I'm going to give it kind of an overall rating based on all of the other stuff that I've discussed. If you have any kind of comments on how I could maybe do these reviews better, or structure the categories differently, then please let me know and I'll try to take them on board. And if you have any other questions about the product that I don't cover in the video, then do let me know and I'll try to respond to any comments. Okay, so the first product that I'm going to be reviewing is this, which I received I think the day before yesterday. It's a Blake Hedley, or Hedley, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Regis Bourneville jacket. So when I first got out of the box, my first impression was, well, it had this kind of waxy, soft leather, which, yeah, I'll get onto what I think about that and the colour and stuff in a bit. But yeah, it was very kind of soft in general. And you can see here the zip is sort of a dull kind of brass colour, you can see. So yeah, it came in quite a plain box, like nothing too fancy, but I kind of like that because it keeps with the handmade kind of feel of the thing. So I'm going to quickly move on to the positives. Actually, I'll just say quickly, I'm about 6'1", 2" kind of thing, like between those two. And I have a 40-inch chest. Well, that's what I take in most kind of brands and stuff. So just keep that in mind. Once I put this on, you'll see how it fits. Comes down to about just below the belt. Fits pretty well like that. This is a medium large. I had to get in touch with them to get that made, but Sean was very helpful on the site, so he just invoiced me directly, and you can do that if you think the medium might be too small, the large might be too big, which is often the case for me. I went to be safe, I got that size and it fits me very well. So there's enough space under there for kind of a bulky jumper, but equally you could wear it with a t-shirt and it'll be fine as well. It's not overly tight, it's not overly loose. So that was a very good option for me. If you're around the same size as me, you might want to do that as well. So anyway, so in terms of the positives, I would say, in general, as soon as I opened the box, you could tell it's very high quality. The leather is really soft, which is really nice. The fur is incredibly soft. Like, I'm the sort of person that go around clothes shops and I kind of like feel things. I like the textures and stuff, and I don't think I've ever felt shearling fur that's this soft. So it's really nice, actually. Definitely recommend that. You can see where that has this kind of waxy kind of feel, which is very nice. It's also surprisingly lightweight. I was very surprised by how little it weighed. I have another leather jacket and way heavier than this. So I think partly because of kind of the softness, like it kind of makes sense when you feel it, but it's much lighter than I was expecting, which to me is a good thing. Because it makes it much more versatile, you know, like if you are looking at your wardrobe and you're thinking of, oh, what am I going to wear today? And then you're thinking, I'm going to have to be lugging around this kind of heavy jacket it's going to be like carrying a whole bag or something all day. It often kind of discounts something from my options for the day, especially if I'm going to be kind of active. I don't want to be carrying a whole other weight. I've got a really nice black shot NYC jacket, but it's so heavy that a lot of the time I end up just not taking it because of the fact that I know that it's going to burden me throughout the day. So yeah, so that, like, in terms of the positives, I mean, it's quite straightforward, the positives, but they really are important, you know. Great quality, very lightweight, really nice materials, and it has that kind of like handmade feel and look. So, you know, I'll come on to the kind of negatives of that, but in general, I really like that. It feels like someone who really knows what they're doing and has been doing this for a long time has put this together. you know, and that you kind of feel like one person's overseeing the whole process. So that's really nice. It's kind of like craftsmanship, you know. The other thing I'd say in terms of positives, and this is more for the brand than the individual product, is that their customer service seems really great. I mean, like, I emailed them and I was going back and forth with them because I'm quite fussy for a few weeks before I made this purchase, and I was and they responded to all my questions. They're very patient over my nitpicking. And then since I bought it, I've also been emailing them, kind of agonizing over if I'm going to return it for a different color and stuff like that. And I've decided I'm going to stick with this, but they've been very, very patient with that and been very reasonable and allowing me to potentially to do that. They were very happy with me potentially doing a return. So that's the positives. Now, some of the gripes I have with this, there are a few little things that I would prefer to be different, but I think some of them are kind of my personal taste. I don't think they'll affect anyone, and some of them also are things that other people might find a problem, which I don't really care about. So the first thing is that, as I said, it has a very kind of handmade feel, which is great, but it does mean that there's some kind of small inconsistencies. I think the biggest one here is, if you see on the, on the camera, where is it? Oh, yeah, on the lapels, you can see, I don't know if you can see the lapels are slightly uneven. Where is it? This one. At the top of the lapel, there's some kind of slightly uneven cut there. I mean, I like this because it kind of shows again that it's like handmade and everything like that, and that each one's going to be unique. But you know, if you like really neatly cut corners or that sort of thing, then that might irritate you. I also find that when it's closed, these are slightly uneven. The kind of neck, the end of the collar, one's slightly lower than the other one. But you know, for me, I don't mind that, but it's worth considering, you know, that it's not going to be kind of factory perfect or like factory identical, every single one of these products. So the next thing I want to talk about is, well, the color. I mean, when I first took it out of the box, I was a bit disappointed. I don't know if you can see here, it looks pretty rich in the video, but it was a little bit more kind of pale and washed out looking than I'd hoped. I quite like a deep, rich brown, and this, I'm not sure if it was something that they treated it with before it came, because maybe it's my perception of it has just changed, but it seems a bit deeper and a bit more like I like it now. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but anyway, hopefully you can see the color. Yeah, it's when I first took it out, it felt to me like, you know, like if you're looking at something through a kind of slight mist or something like that, like it just had this thin, like as if you have a thin layer of kind of film over it or something. It wasn't like a deep, rich color, it was more like wash. But I think, yeah, that concern is kind of, it's not as present in my mind as when I took it out. So maybe I'm just growing to like it, I don't know. And also, since then, I think, I don't know if you can see there's been some parts that have become kind of darker patches, and I think maybe it is because there was some sort of, I don't know, wax on it or something that's coming off, which is good because I want it to be a bit darker. But anyway, I like the colour now, so that's a personal preference thing. Yeah, another thing is that when it arrived, as you can see, there's already kind of creases on the arms. Now, obviously, this is a very soft material, and it's probably just what happens with it, but it does make me worry a little bit about the longevity of it. Seeing as I don't really like crease leather. I know some people like that kind of worn look. I prefer my leather to have as little in the way of creases as possible. So yeah, that's just something to consider. I don't know how the wear is going to turn out on the, you know, on the lapels and stuff like that when they've been folded over a while. I hope they don't become too creased, but it's something to consider as well. Okay. Yeah, the next thing, I'm probably going to have to play another clip, but I will try to just show you. So the front of the jacket is a bit lower than the back. I don't know if you can see. It kind of tilts forwards a little bit, which means that you can usually see kind of like the jumper or the shirt, unless you tuck it in from the back more so than the front that you're wearing underneath that you see. So I'd say I'm not a fan of that. I prefer my jackets to be a bit lower at the back, if possible, and or at least even. So I'm not too keen on that, but you know, maybe it's just the type of design. When you have this much stuff at the front, it's kind of gonna go forward a little bit, and you can always just readjust it. It just means you're gonna have to be readjusting quite a bit when you're wearing it. The next thing, the pockets. This is probably my biggest gripe with this, is that one, there's no, as you can see, there's no internal pocket at all on either side. Yeah, so if you have things you want to store, like usually I would, for instance, take my work phone and put it inside the internal pocket, or I don't know, if I'm traveling, I'll put my passport there just so I can kind of take it out and have it separate from my other stuff in my trouser pockets. So I would really have liked to have seen a kind of internal pocket here, but there's just nothing like that. You've only got the side pockets, which for me, like in a heavy jacket, is kind of reduced functionality. But you know, I guess that's a preference thing. Not everyone cares about pockets, I know that. My attitude in general with clothes is the more pockets the better. So for me, if it doesn't have a pocket that is quite standard on a piece of clothing that's like that, so for instance a jacket, then to me that's not great, but you know, anyway. And the other thing is with the pockets that it does have, so you've got these pockets on the side. You know, one thing is that they don't, I haven't tested them in really cold weather, but they don't feel like they're going to insulate your hands that well, especially because of the design that I'm about to come on to. But also it would have been nice to have a kind of fur-lined pocket, I think, for coziness, you know, when you're walking around in winter. So especially because the pockets are not that wide or big, so if you have gloves, I feel like it's going to be kind of hassle putting your hand in with the gloves or storing the gloves in the pocket. So it would have been nicer if the pocket had actually kind of served an almost like glove type function. But you know, I mean, it still has the pockets and you can still put your hands in them, so I guess it's not the end of the world. But then the real problem I have with these is that they, if you can see, they're not actually sewn on to the side of the jacket. They're just sewn on where they meet the kind of opening right there, right? But then apart from that, the only thing they have holding them to the side is this string here. And I'm not a big fan of that because I really prefer the pocket to be sewn onto the side of the jacket, and this string feels a bit flimsy. I feel like at some point one of these is going to come undone from one side or other, and then it's just going to be flapping around, and I'm going to have to go and sew it in myself, or I'm going to have to take it to somewhere where they can like sew that in or repair that. It just feels like, and when you have your hands in the pocket, it feels like you're pushing on it, and it's like eventually through wear and tear going to lead to that string coming off. It also means that when you have your both hands in, but you have the jacket open, and I prefer to have it open, then you're gonna like be able to see the pocket kind of coming out in the middle around your belly, which is not ideal as well. But anyway, you know, I mean, again, I guess it's part of the design and part of the style. It's just, I personally would have preferred that to be different. So I've covered all of the negatives there. It sounds like a lot, but honestly, like, I don't think maybe I didn't emphasize enough, like in terms of the positives, like well, I'll get onto this, but yeah, the quality of it is so nice, and you know, the feel and everything, that I'm prepared to overlook this stuff because yeah, I really like the jacket in general. So I'm just going to go over like a little bit in terms of like lifestyle or kind of uses of this. Well, obviously it's not a smart piece of clothing. It's more like it's going to be casual, maybe adventure type activities you want to use this for. It would be really good for long walks or hiking in the cold. General city use, you know, on colder kind of days. It's quite versatile because of the fact that it's so light. I think that, you know, you can use it with a light jumper for kind of, well, like I did when I went out with it. It was about probably between 10 and 12 degrees on that day. I had this thin merino jumper on. When I was walking at normal pace, I was definitely warm, and I got a bit hot when I was walking faster, but that shows that you could, anywhere from kind of early autumn to late spring, right through the winter, you're going to find uses for it. It's so light that you're not going to get super sweaty, especially if you have a t-shirt on only underneath. Obviously you could raise up the collar and use the buckle to use it almost like a scarf, you know, on cold days. Even if you just have a t-shirt, then that's going to help you with your kind of neck insulation. And so yeah, like it's quite versatile, and I really have to emphasize that lightweight really helps with that. It looks pretty rugged. I think it would be well paired with like some kind of nice jeans and boots, but you can wear it with trainers as well, etc. And obviously in terms of color, it can go with kind of like white type things and also black, maybe deep reds and stuff like that. I wouldn't wear it with beige because that would be a bit I don't think it'll go very well, but yeah. Okay, so the next category I wanted to talk about is value for money. So quick disclaimer on this. So the standard price that's listed on the website at the moment is £395, I think. I got it on a Black Friday sale, so about 20% off. But honestly, if I'd missed the Black Friday, I would have just bought it full price, and I think I'd still be happy with it. So yeah, I did a lot of research. I generally do a lot of research before buying something like this, and I looked everywhere for something that was like a nice shearling jacket. And basically, like, you can get these from fairly upmarket brands like Reese, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but yeah, stuff like that, or some of the fashion brands, they have nice shearling jackets. But the problem is, yeah, you're going to end up paying probably at least £800 for them, unless you look for a really good sale, and then you're not guaranteed. Plus they have less, what do you call it, like less choice in terms of the different kind of style options and stuff, whereas Blake Hedley has a lot of choice. So yeah, so I think it's very good value for money in that sense. I think Shot NYC, I have one of their jackets, and they have various things that are kind of similar, but they don't have this exact style. And also their jackets tend to be a lot heavier in terms of the leather, and you're not going to get that kind of handmade feel either. They don't have that sort of thing. It's like heavy, almost like biker type leather. So, and they're the only things that will be kind of close to this price bracket, I think. So yeah, for me, I think value for money is very good value for money, you know. And you know, with the choice that they have on the website and everything, you're going to be able to get something like that you really like. So yeah, I recommend it in that sense. So to summarize, I think overall, I would definitely recommend this jacket, and I think I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I would give it 9 or even 10 if it wasn't for those negatives that I listed. But because of the quality and the amount that I like this jacket, and you know, the versatility and everything, I am going to give it a solid 8 out of 10, and I'll definitely be keeping it. And I'll probably buy something else from them in the future with different colors. They have some really nice kind of ginger shearling and other colors that are really nice as well, and different styles that are nice. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. It's probably a bit not perfect. I mean, it's like kind of haphazard because it's my first one, but if you enjoyed the review and found it useful, please give me a like or thumbs up or whatever, and subscribe, because I'll be doing other ones. I'm going to review my Shot jacket at some point, and I'll do various reviews for technology, watches, stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you.